Good morning. My name is Tom. I come to you from Northern Maine. Well, this is the first video in the series for Trapping 2023 for beginners in more ways than one. I have never been a trapper. A couple of years ago, I decided it was one of those things on my bucket list that I wanted to experience. So I started putting all the ducks in a row to trap, even at my age. But also, I've got 4 grandsons that I want to expose them to everything that the outdoor life has to offer. And this is one of them, along with the deer hunting, the rabbit hunting, the bird hunting. Trapping is another one of those things that's out there that is a great activity. So that's where this more or less come together, as well as I wanted the ability to be able to trap a bear. So in order to trap a bear in the state of Maine, you have to take the entire trapping course. It's not an easy thing to get a trapping license. They hold the trapper to a very high standard here in the state of Maine. So plain and short of it, it's just not a simple thing to get a trapping license and away you go. So I took the course, had no problems there, got my trapping license and all of that. And now it kind of was a problem. That's why it's been a 2-year window here. The way they have the trapping season set up, they are right in line with deer season. So what a mess, what a mess. It would be nice if trapping season started the 1st of October instead of the end of October, because October doesn't affect deer season. Neither does December affect deer season. So then that would give us October and December for trapping, and what a grand time that would be. But in the great wisdom of the state of Maine, it starts right around opening day of deer season. So that really, really sucks in my world. Plain and short of it. So, hey, get yourself a cup of coffee. But anyways, I've got a grandson that's really interested in this. So we've got a trip planned for opening day of trapping season this year. And that's why I mean trapping season for beginners. Now he thinks that I walk on clouds as an outdoorsman and a woodsman. He absolutely loves the East Grand Woodsman channel and watches it faithfully. There's 4 grandsons, but the little one there, he's only 2 years old. So, but anyways, we're gonna go on a trapping trip October 15th. He is excited. But what he does not know is that when we place that first trap, it's the first trap that I've ever placed. So, and that just excites me, that I'm taking on a new skill in the outdoor world with my grandson that is he's just all beaming about this. But I'm taking on this new skill in the outdoor life with him for the first time. So, I mean, I remember my first deer. I remember my first brook trout on a fly rod. I remember catching nice brook trout as a fish over there in the wall. I remember my first big brook trout that I caught when I was 7 years old. So I mean, it's just a great deal. So getting down to the nuts and bolts of this, maybe we'll get our first coyote together. Or our first fox or something like that. And that's what's open October 15th. It's early season for coyote and fox. So if I can have any luck at all as a beginner trapper, and I have not wasted the last 2 years. I have studied as much of this stuff as I can. I never take on a new endeavor without researching and studying it as much as I can to give me as good of a chance as I can have. Whether it be deer hunting or bear hunting or any of that stuff. Getting out in the woods, boots on the ground, that whole 9 yards. I have been studying the woods over there around Beaver Creek since we swapped for that big boat. So I've got a really good idea of what's going on over there. Now what we don't have here, and I could get permission, I could get permissions from farmers and farm fields. I haven't done that because I really want the trapping experience for me and him to be done in the woods and not knocking it, or not necessarily on the edge of a farm field. And I will. I'm not saying I won't do that in the future. I will do that in the future. But right now, I would like to figure out if we can do something in the woods, because that takes in both cabins for trapping. I have 4 miles of trails behind the rustic log cabin, so there's lots and lots of stuff that we can do right in the woods on my trail system that I've already put in, which would make an excellent trap line. So the same thing at Beaver Creek. I've already got lots of trails put in. I have plans for another trail to put in, which will wrap around that swale grass area that makes up Beaver Creek. And I'll head right down to the creek on the other side once we finish that trail, you know. But I have trails in, trails out, and then there's logging roads, stuff like that make up this area that I do have permission to trap in right now. So just so much that I can do there. And maybe a good thing happened last winter, especially for the trapping. Last summer they came in and they flagged out a big piece of woods. I knew it was the property line. I knew it was the property line of the owner that I have permission to trap on. And then last winter they came in and they cut that big chunk of woods. Now they don't clear cut anymore in the state of Maine. All they do is they go in and they might take out a 100-foot swash, and they leave 50 feet or 100 feet, and then they take out another. And that's the way they cut off the woods now here in the state. So what I've got now, which it was really thick and big pine. Now it's a twofold deal here. I know the deer were bedding down in them pines in foul weather before they were gone. So I don't know if that might hurt me, because now my bedding area has moved. Some of the bedding area for the deer will probably have moved, and who knows? I mean, there's enough left in there that maybe not. I'll let you know this winter. But anyways, the way they've cut this property line, now there's trees on my side of that cutting, and no trees on that side. So I'm thinking that is a perfect property line to set some traps on. I cannot imagine foxes and coyotes and all of that stuff not wanting to travel that clearing to thick stuff looking for food. So I'm thinking that could be a good thing for us. So, and if at any rate, it gives us a good place to set some traps. So that would be, I got lots of area now on one side of that property, and I've got the other side which makes up Beaver Creek, so I got lots of places down there to set some traps. So I think as far as trapping's going, it's probably looking pretty good. But as I started this video out saying, this is going to be trapping season 2023 for beginners on both sides. So I know I've got a lot of trappers that watch this channel, retired trappers. So hey, you guys, in the comment section, I will videotape as much as I can, I will carry the camera, stuff like that. And if you see something that I should be looking at in that video, point it out. If you see a good spot in them videos that would make a good place for a coyote trap or a fox trap, point it out. And if you see that I could do something different, point it out. Right now I'm down in the shop. It's Labor Day weekend, so now I'm just going to be prepping the traps. These traps you see here on the table come from Stacy. You see him in the comments all the time. So thank you, Stacy, one more time for all these traps that you sent me. I also have some anchors here for drags, because isn't that quite the anchor? I have some spots where I will set the trap in the actual snowmobile trail. But I don't want the coyote to stay there if he gets caught, because it's also a four-wheeler trail. So if he gets caught, I want him to be able to drag off the trail, and then that's what you hook these to 10 feet of chain, and away he goes out into the woods, and then this will fetch up somewhere, and he will be hooked. So just off the trail where people can't see him, that's all. Especially during bird season, stuff like that. Just want him off the trail, out of the way, and then we'll chase him down and find him. They don't go far when you're dragging this kind of a hook through the woods. So he'll hopefully get 50 feet or so off the trail, hunker himself down when somebody comes by, and nobody will see him. So anyways, have a last sip of coffee with me. I'm going to get started on playing with these traps to clean them up, and then I'll be bringing over my grandson the day that we're going to boil them, clean them up, and then re-wax them. So I'm going to have him be a part of that right out here by the shop. He wanted to come today, but his mother had other plans. So, so have a last sip of coffee, and I will see you next week.